Zoe, who have we got coming in?
Well, this couldn't be a better show for me to be involved in, because we're about to bring on our special guest today, who is a gentleman that I have followed ever since he came to our attention on X Factor when he became the winner. And his voice is sublime. He is the most wonderful character. And his name is Joe McElderry. But I know, it's very exciting. But before we meet Joe, he has a new single out. And we're about to play you a little snapshot of his new video to go with the single, Baby Had Your Fun. See, now that is the sort of song, girls, when I'm doing my shows, getting ready on the cruise ships, etc., or backstage, I like a little bit of an anthem to get me in the mood. Sure, that is going to be my new get ready for the show anthem. So everybody say hello to Joe McElderry.
Hi,
Joe.
how are you?
Nice, Joe. Your hair looks nice.
I was just brushing it for you ladies.
You look gorgeous as ever. Look
do.
at your beautiful face. Come on, let's just all just look at you for a second.
You are very gorgeous.
It's lovely of you to come on, but also I have to say that I've been obviously I follow you on social media all the time. We're friends anyway in the business. But recently, I've noticed how fit you've become. Seriously.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, fit. In which way? I mean, fit or fit?
He's always been fit, but he really has become fit through lockdown, whereas I, the other hand, have gone the other way, whereas I stepped on the scales 2 weeks ago and I thought my mum had got on with me. I swear to God, I've never seen a number like that. So did you get to the stage where you had a similar thing when you went, it's got to stop?
So I feel like we talk about life now, don't we? In which lockdown? Because it's gone on that long. It's like lockdown 1, lockdown 2, lockdown 3. Hopefully no more.
Right.
But so the first one, I really, because the weather was beautiful this time last year. The weather was amazing. I was out running, and then when things kind of opened back up a little bit in the summer, and you know, I went over to the Lake District. I was over there for a couple of weeks and camping. And when you're outdoors, you're always doing fitness stuff. And then when winter hit, it was like lots of gin, lots of Zoom catch-ups with friends, lots of pizza. And then I got to the point just before Christmas where, you know, when it just starts to make you feel like really unmotivated. And I thought I need something, because obviously, you know, like all of us in our industry, we're used to being on the go constantly and flitting from one thing to the next, and not having that it was a really alien feeling for me. So I was like, I need just something like to count down the days through to the next point of like light at the end of the tunnel. So I've got a friend of mine who's a performer who's just set up a personal training thing, and he set us up with a plan, and it was nice to just have something to focus on every day. I got the workout sent, and I even cooked, which, if you know me, and me do not go together.
Well, I see you say that, but I just saw a wonderful snip on social media of you on looked like a camping site cooking a paella.
Exactly. I mean, I'm a changed man. What can I say?
You'll be having your own cookery. Having your own cookery program next, and finishing on a song. I mean, I'd love that. That would be absolutely my sublime entertainment.
I think I have enjoyed it. I think normally I don't really have time to cook, and it's been nice to kind of. But I'm so impatient. So like, if something takes longer than 15 minutes, I'm checked out. You know, I'm like, oh, I'm not doing it. Whack it in, burn it, throw it in the bin.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a one-to-one mental kind of physical thing that you've got with your friend. So he tailor makes the workouts for you every day or every week, or what's the scenario?
You get it's all done online. It's a program called Tom Live and Fit, and he basically he's got hundreds of clients. He's very talented at what he does, and you get this app, and it sends you the workout on the day. It tells you your nutrition, your protein, whatever, and then obviously you just do what you can in and around that. But yeah, so like just before I came on with you guys, I was just finishing a workout there, and it's I mean, it's easy to do it at home, but I have to admit, the last 2 weeks since the pubs and restaurants have opened, it's gone out the window.
No, it's freedom. There's a sense of freedom. I haven't quite experienced it yet, but I'm looking forward to getting out there. So going back to the single, Joe, it's just brilliant. And it's not a sycophantic thing just because you're our special guest. It really is a great song. How's it doing? And tell us about the video that goes with it.
It's been great. You know, obviously we released it at the end of January, and it was supposed to come out last year in November. And then when all the lockdown 2 happened, we just were like, let's just stop a minute and kind of wait, because I think when that happened, everyone was a bit like, oh, this is going on a lot longer, and the mood was kind of, it just didn't feel right to then just whack out this big kind of happy, fun pop song. And then and then when we realized obviously January was going to be happening and we're going to be restricted again, I said, listen, it is a happy song, it's got good energy, let's give people something to dance around the living rooms to if we can't go out clubbing and whatever we want to do. So where did
you film it, Joe? Where did you film it?
We shot it. Well, I'm really good. Me and Jade out of Little Mix, Jade Thirlwell, we grew up together in South Shields. We used to sing together years ago, and obviously have then weirdly both gone on to win the X Factor, which is a really massively coincidental thing, really like crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
And, she had just bought a nightclub and bar in South Shields just before the first, just before the lockdown hit last year. So obviously that her business has been massively affected in terms of like, you can't, you know, they weren't allowed to be open. So I texted her and I said, listen, I've had this idea. I wanted to film it in a club with loads of dancers and people and make it, obviously we can't do that, but how about we film it in the club and just make it like this, like we managed to do it with the video director. He shot 4 dancers socially distant, and he turned all the lights down and did all of these like cool kind of special effects on them. So in part of it, it actually looks like this, like loads of people dancing all crammed together, which is what we wanted. But on the day, I mean, it was just stressful because, you know, you feel responsible for people. You don't want people to get ill. We do all of the testing and the temperature checks and everything. But being in a nightclub, like I was like, can we stay and have a party? And then they were like, no, get out.
And also,
Joe,
watching it, you don't want any sort of negativity about, hang on, they're too quiet. How are they allowed to do that? You don't want any of that to you.
It's really strange as well, because like because obviously like I'm releasing music pre-COVID, you don't have to think about anything like that. But when they were sending all of the video edits and all of the behind the scenes footage and everything, you're looking at it in a completely different way and thinking, I don't want to offend anyone. I don't want anybody to think nobody was safe. So, and it was just a weird thing. Like, and I was being maybe a bit overly paranoid, but I was, I was like going, oh, we can't have that in because the way that angle, even though we were socially distant, that angle looks like we weren't. And I don't want to annoy people or be, not sensitive to the fact that people have, are really ill from it. So it was strange, but we managed to make it work and to see how it was received back in January.
It was brilliant, Joe, I have to say. And I mean, I am going to be sycophantic because I've been watching you from the outset, and I always thought you were going to win, and you did win the X Factor. And I've been watching your career, and your single's brilliant, of course. And you've done so many amazing things. And I just found out that you actually sang at the Palace and sang for the Queen several times. Yeah. What was that like for you?
Well, I got asked to do this. It was for, I think it might have been for the Prince's Trust. They were doing a celebration of youth in the music industry and performing arts industry. And we performed in I assume it's like the Royal Ballroom where the Queen hosts all of the private dinners and the private functions. And they said, we want you to sing Something's Coming from West Side Story. Oh. Probably one of the hardest songs you could ever have to sing, I have to say. And I could not get it right on the day of the rehearsal. Had this massive orchestra in this tiny room. And it's just a really complicated song with the timing and everything. And I had all these amazing dancers around, and it was like this kind of performance on this big ballroom floor. And just right in front of you is just the Queen sat on like this fantastic throne.
Wow. How fabulous.
And there was literally just like an audience of like 15 invited special guests. I think Helen Mirren was there, and a few other very, very important
exciting.
People. Yeah. And, it was so weird because obviously, I think even if you're not a fan of the royal family, the Buckingham Palace is such a kind of iconic place, and to just be inside there. Me and my mum they put us in one of the states rooms, was like all of the like states rooms were like the dressing rooms. So we're like tiny little dots in this massive room with like a little table with water and fruit on and everything. And I was like, my mum, can we sit down? Like, are we allowed to sit down?
Amazing.
But, it was incredible.
Oh wow!
Did she enjoy it? Did the Queen say anything to you? What did
Yeah, I
she
was going to
say?
say, did she speak to you?
Yeah, we all got to meet her after. So we went into a different room after, and they did like the royal lineup. She, I mean, you know, she has somebody with her that tells everybody who everybody is. So, but it was lovely. And she said, what did she say? I remember because I'd met her not long before that, the year before.
As you do.
And she'd asked what I do and if I was releasing music. And then the second time she asked how the album did. So I don't know if she knew or not. But I'm going to say she listens to me music. Let's just say.
Yeah,
She
absolutely.
does. She definitely does.
I've just realised, look at my mug today, Joe. How perfect is that for you?
Oh, yes, it is.
So-
I'm like a walking musical.
Well, I love it. I love it. Obviously, you're renowned for playing Joseph and his Technicolor Dreamcoat. Got that right. Any chance that might be you again? Would you play the role again, or are you done with the show?
I mean, I did it for quite a while. I did it for like in little chunks, about 2.5 years.
Mhm.
And when I finished it, I said, that's it now, put it to bed. I've had a lovely time and it's done. Who knows? You know, I mean, it's such a great show.
Now you've got your body back. You look great in your loincloth now, wouldn't you?
Oh, that's right. Yes. Well, maybe I'm getting a bit too old.
No, you're not serious.
This year.
You can get away with it on stage. You're not close up on stage. But you you have got a tour coming up, haven't you?
Yeah, so we're starting. We're doing Joe McElderry Unlocked in May. So we're doing four socially distant shows. The week that all the theatres are allowed to open, which is really nice to be able to do something to kind of mark that occasion. That's up in South Shields.
And is that just you? Is that just you on your own, or have you got people with you?
Well, it's me on my own. Obviously, normally I tour with a whole band and the whole thing, but obviously because of still restrictions and things like that, it is just me. But we're working on a kind of really special show, like more visually, and trying to create all of the look of everything with lights and just so that people still feel like they're getting the full experience, you know. But obviously we can't, most of my band members live in London, so it's the logistics of still trying to get everybody up. And then our tour in September, all being well, we'll hopefully be back to normal fully by then. So that starts at the end of September and runs through till the end of October. So
fantastic. Also, of course, we've got a fantastic link between you and our Debbie. Yes, haven't we, Deb?
How are the lads? You know, we can speak like this for ages. I'm so proud of you. we have this connection, don't we, when we come from the Northeast, that anybody that comes from the Northeast, you know, you just think, the minute you're on the X Factor, that's it. It didn't matter if you stood there with, you know, playing the ukulele with your earlobes. I would have loved you, but you were just brilliant anyway. And you always had that gorgeous, you know, you're just gorgeous. And I was so, it was lovely with you and Cheryl, because it actually made me feel very much at home. You know, it was like a real north and south divide.
Yeah, because Debbie, you've not lost the accent at all, have you?
No, I haven't.
No.
I haven't.
It's a lovely thing. I think there's such a in the Northeast, there's such a kind of community spirit that they always just back their own and support each other. And I actually was working yesterday with a friend of mine, and we went for he's up here working in the Northeast, and we went for a walk along the coast after we'd finished what we were doing, and everybody says hello, everybody says morning.
Yeah,
hello.
they did.
And he's from London. He was like, do you know those people? And I'm like, no. And he's like, why does everybody say hello? And I'm like, well, just because we like to say hello to each other when you're out on the walk.
It's so evident, isn't it?
Some people don't realise it. When you are from the Northeast, this is what you do. You speak to people. You say, hello, how are you? I remember when I first came to London, and my mother used to say to me, why do people think that we're so weird? Because we always used to say hello, and they used to cross the road. You know, because these people smiled at them all the time.
I do it all the time in London, and I have to say I love London. I love the kind of hustle and bustle of London as well. It's such a like high energy, brilliant place. But I do that. I say hello to people, and I can see them looking at us, thinking,
What's he want? Yeah.
And the other thing, Joe, that's very weird, and I don't know if you found this as well. You know, being brought up in the northeast, I'm from Sunderland. I mean, as my mother used to say, a nice place to come from and not to go to, which is true. But sorry from everybody in Sunderland, but it's true. It's too cold for me to go back there now. But it was great growing up there. But what was most amazing is the beach. The beach was in Sunderland is the most incredible place. It's like 12 white sandy beaches. And when I was about 5 years old, they made a film, this is going to shock you, called Tahara Tahiti. And it was shot on the beach in Sunderland because it was the best beach in England to shoot it. And everybody had to wear, and I wore a grass skirt, and they had all these sort of extras, all the people from Sunderland in bathing costumes. And because it was so cold, my lips were blue. They had to put all this makeup on us, and they had to put lipstick on little children because we were freezing. But there you go.
Awful.
Wouldn't be allowed now, would it?
We do have beautiful untouched beaches, but it is because we don't get the weather. You know, it's such a. I say to people all the time, if you want like a beautiful coastline, it's like what you're saying. You can drive all the way up from like Sunderland all the way up to like Berwick, Scotland, and it is some of the most beautiful scenery that you ever will see. Some people would travel 15 hours on a flight to see some of the views that you can get to. I should work for the tourism board.
Yeah. And you know what? I've got some film because my grandpa was an amateur sort of like, you know, he used to take movies and, you know, the old-fashioned movies. And I've got some film in the 1920s of Sunderland, people on the beach, and they're in hats and coats on deck, in deck dress, hats and coats, and, you know, and all the men are playing leapfrog. I mean, it's a bizarre thing. That's what people used to do. And loads of people are on horseback in the sea, all fully dressed. I mean, you know, and it's obviously, and then their kids running around with bathing costumes on. Very weird.
What's been lovely during like the lockdowns and things is, you know, on a morning, there's been loads of families sat in their little bubbles, all safe, still following the rules, but going down at like 4 a.m. in the morning and just sitting watching the sunrise together. And you think if we can take one little positive, like seeing that sometimes, I've walked down there with my mum and I said to my mum, look at that, like people would never, ever have done this. They would never, ever have gotten up at 4 a.m. in the morning and gone and appreciated this beautiful sunrise and sat with their kids. And, you know, not to make light of anything, because we would rather any of it had ever happened. But, you know, little bits like that, you think, well, like people finding the beauty in such a simple thing, you know?
Yeah, it's absolutely
How was lockdown for you? Were you on your own, or
I had my mum with me, so we were together. So I came back up here to the northeast because I was due to be like working and touring all last year, and then when everything kind of hit, I came here, which is my base anyways. And it's been nice, you know. I've been able to spend time with her, and we've had like good quality time. And we get on really well as well. So we've got a really good relationship. So it's been quite fun, you know, like we've done stuff in the garden and I think she's sick of us now. She's ready for us to go back to work.
Listen, you're doing panto, aren't you, darling? You're doing panto in Newcastle. Who are you doing it with?
So we're doing it with Danny Adams and Clive Webb, and we are doing Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. So that starts in November, which I'm really looking forward to because it's such a fantastic show up here at the Theatre Royal.
Yeah,
and
it's one of the best theatres, I think. There's so many beautiful theatres all over the country, but Theatre Royal Newcastle takes some beating. I'm very proud to have done 2 pantos there. And,
I've done one there.
Isn't it great, Linda? I mean, it's just so beautiful. Just coming out onto Grey Street and all the little restaurants and bars all the way down the hill.
Well, any theatre at the moment is just fantastic. We're very lucky. But listen, Joe, from the Wonderbirds, we wish you the greatest luck. Yeah. Please come back and see us because you're absolutely gorgeous, Ed. Gorgeous.
Gorgeous. It's been lovely to see you all.
Thank you so much,
and you, darling.
Good luck with the single. Good luck with the single.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Oh, take him home and keep him. He's lovely.
Oh, absolutely. I think we all feel like that, Linda. Don't we?
He's such a scream. We should do a works outing and go and see when he's working reasonably near where we all are. We should actually do a joint kind of group outing and go and see.
I'd love that.
We
Yeah.
should. But listen, I'd like to say thank you so much to Linda and to Hilary for stepping
Yes.
into the breach and being two wonderful, wonderful adopted Wonderbirds today. Thank you so much from all of us. You are
Honorary
Wonderbirds.
Wonderbirds.
Well,
Thank you.
And superstars. And
Thank you so
please come in and see us soon. Linda, don't forget your
Please.
bucket next time.
don't forget my what?
Your bucket.
Bucket.
My bucket.
Oh, your bargain buckets. Your
I'll be
bargain.
bargain. I thought
I was thinking- I was still thinking-
I thought we were.
Yeah, I was still thinking about South Shields Beach.
No, I've gone on. I've left that. Thank
Yes,
you,
no,
everybody.
I've got great things for the next bucket. It's everything sticky that lifts and pushes and.
Oh, right. That's a good
Sounds
one.
intriguing.
Well, on Friday's show, we will be back as a full complement, and we have the wonderful Amanda Barry who's joining us. So we will see you again on Friday, and thank you for everybody for all your support. See
Thank
you then.
you.
Bye.
Bye.